House Judiciary Chair, Jim Jordan. Jim, I think the argument is this. Pass this bill as is, and you'll get rapid growth in the second half of this year, which will take care, to some degree, of the deficit problem. That argument doesn't seem to be working with the deficit hawks.
Well, remember, this bill not only does that with the tax cuts that are in the legislation, but this embraces every key Republican principle we have. It says cut taxes, let parents and families keep more of their money to spend on their goals and dreams. It says provide money to keep the border secure that President Trump has now got secure. It says let's require work for able-bodied adults. That's good for taxpayers. That's good for our economy. Most importantly, it's good for the recipient. It gets them out to a better, more productive life. And this bill also says, let's give parents the ability to get to their kids to the school of their choice. School choice, tax cuts, secure border, and work requirements in our social welfare system. That's why Democrats hate it, because Democrats are against all those core conservative common sense principles that our party has. So that's why we should pass it. I know the deficits are too high and the debt's too big, and we need to deal with that. And this bill does to some degree, not as much as we should, but still it's a really good bill with those four fundamental Republican principles in it. Let's pass it. And as you say, Stuart, let's get our economy growing.
Are you confident that it will pass this week?
Well, I hope it does this week, but I am confident it will pass at some point. Let's hope it's today. But if it takes a few more days, it takes a few more days. I'm for it. I think most Republicans see how good this thing is. I understand people want to have a few more dollars of savings, because when you're running huge deficits like we are and you're building up a $37 trillion debt, that's crazy. You got to deal with that. But you're right. Growth is always the first step. Start growing, then it's easier to constrain spending in the out years.
It's not that you're going to get rid of the deficit. It's that you're going to stop it getting any bigger and get a plateau on the deficit. The bond market would love that if we can get there. I really want to change the subject for a second. Are you going to investigate who was exercising presidential power in the last 2 years of Biden's presidency? Because the release of those tapes shows that he just didn't have it together.
Yeah, no, we were after those tapes. You know, we went to court and everything else, contempt against, voted for contempt against the Attorney General when he wouldn't give us the tapes. We actually think they waived the privilege they asserted on the audio tapes, because they gave us the transcript. You gave us the transcript, but you won't give us the audio tape. But yeah, I do think it underscores what we all suspected, what we all saw, that President Biden wasn't in the best condition to be running the country. So I don't know who was running it. We may look at this. I'm talking with Chairman Comer of the Oversight Committee. It's kind of more suited for that committee, but we are looking at this, because I do think you want to know. But to me, the biggest takeaway is what so many people in the media did, how they covered for it, how they lied about it, just like they lied about all these other issues, the laptop, the Benghazi, the Russian collusion, parents at school board, all those issues they lied about. I guess we probably shouldn't be surprised that they lied about Joe Biden and who was actually making decisions in the Oval Office. Yeah,
it stands out. Jake Tapper, I'm sure you've seen this. Jake Tapper wrote the book. I remember from 2020 when he interrupted Lara Trump, who had begun to question Biden's mentality. And Tapper, it just shut him down. Tapper just shut him right down. It was rude to her almost. You know, and now he's written a book about the cover-up, and he was part of it.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Tapper told us everything is fine. Now he's making money with the book, telling us, no, it wasn't fine. It was just the opposite. I mean, go figure. But remember, the left, I always say this, the left has a template, and they follow it time and time again. The left will tell a lie. Joe Biden's just fine. Big media will report the lie. Big tech will amplify the lie. And then when you tell the truth, they call you racist or some other name. They attack you. They come after you as in a personal way. And then pretty soon you're proven right, like we are now. But they'll either, they'll change the subject, or they'll move on to the next lie. Yeah. That's just how you have to deal with the left today in American politics. But the good news is American people, with their common sense, see through all the baloney.
Yes, they do. They really do. All right, Jim Jordan, thank you very much for being with us. As always, Jim, come back anytime you like. Thanks.